And the worst, this kid who's 20 years old and saw that number on his account down 730 grand, and he killed himself. And that's the worst case scenario. That's as bad as it can get.
There was another article today that I saw that said Robinhood had to install bulletproof glass at their headquarters because people that had lost money were showing up and causing a ruckus. I don't necessarily agree with you in the sense that they need to do more to protect investors. I mean, I feel like, hey, if people want to go in and have a go at the market, then that's their right to do that. Look, I'm not this pro-regulation guy. I think the pattern day trader rule is stupid. I think this rule where you can't withdraw from your savings account more than 6 times in a month or whatever it is. All these federal rules are ridiculous, where they think that they're looking out for people's best interests. And I think the interesting thing about Robinhood, well, first let's talk about this unfortunate incident. What happened with this kid Alex was that he had some options that were being adjusted, right? Like over the weekend, they were either in the money or out of the money, or they were either selling them to get him out of a call, or they were doing some type of adjustment to the account. If you trade options, you understand that sometimes, like on a Saturday when you log into an account, sometimes you'll see some funky stuff while they're taking all the expired options out of your account. Or if you leave options slightly in the money at the end of the week, sometimes they get exercised. There's all different ways for brokerages to handle it. But at some point, Robinhood was engaging in some transaction to take care of an options position in this kid's account, and it printed a negative balance in his cash of like minus $750,000. And this was this was the most unfortunate incident because the kid didn't really understand what he did wrong. He didn't understand how he got there. And, I said to the gentleman that I was speaking with about this, even if he had known about bankruptcy laws, the unfortunate thing is, even if that was a real number in his account, which it wasn't, you file for bankruptcy and it goes away.
Right.
So this was the most unfortunate of incidents because he didn't understand why it was there, and he didn't understand how big or small of a deal it was, and that is, that's just unfortunate. It's a terribly unfortunate situation.
So
it's such a change in the overall environment for the market in general, because Wall Street used to be this thing 30 years ago, 40 years ago, that was only accessible to professionals and to brokers and to floor traders, and then, the extremely wealthy. And then that kind of graduated to, all right, well, you had a local brokerage and you could go in, and there was a lot of passive investing and a lot of blue chips, and that slowly morphed into Scottrade and E-Trade, and all of a sudden you could get these individualized brokerage accounts, but you still kind of had to have a clue what the fuck you were doing to sign up. I mean, there were tons of forms involved. Wiring money and getting checks to your account was like a 10 fucking week process. It was a huge deal. And that kind of graduated into, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago. All right, so retail players are stepping into the market a little bit more. Ameritrade, Schwab now gearing their products towards retail, but really making it an app on the phone and making it accessible from the App Store and making it free and making no deposit minimums and making fractional shares a thing. It opens the fucking floodgates to a whole tranche of people that otherwise would not be involved in the market. And so it's crazy for them, but it's also crazy for other market participants, right?